And I hope there is a special place in hell for someone like you.
Emotional words from the mother of one of the homicide victims in court today during the sentencing hearing. A former Wisconsin football player, Marcus Randall L., will take you to the courtroom. Plus, UW-Madison students took to the streets today to protest the school's response to a viral racist video posted by another student, why they say more should be done. And interest rates on the rise again as lawmakers remain at an impasse over raising the debt ceiling. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. A former Badger football player will serve consecutive life terms for the murder of two Janesville women back in 2020. A 6-day-long murder trial and 2 hours of jury deliberations led us to today's sentencing. Our Catherine Merck shows us the emotional words from family members on the stand.
The family members of the victims in this double homicide shared how Marcus Randall L's actions have impacted their family forever. His family asked for mercy.
I am going to sentence you to life in prison.
For one half of this Rock County courtroom, Wednesday's sentencing hearing was the time to get justice. Brittany McAdory and Sierra Winchester's family asked the court to put Marcus Randall L behind bars for the rest of his life.
Marcus is a cold-blooded killer and a menace to society, and I don't think he would hesitate to kill again.
The other side, the family of the former Badger football player, asked for forgiveness.
I believe if he's given another chance that Marcus would not be involved in drugs and the things that this court has portrayed and said him to do. So I'm asking the court to have mercy on my son.
As the hearing concluded, both ends of the courtroom have lives that are changed forever. Two families without their mothers and another without their father because of a life sentence.
I asked the question, how can I live without you? I've tried to stay strong because I have 3 other girls who not only lost their sister, but they also lost their best friend.
Just like I know the other families were lost with nowhere to turn, nowhere to go.
Randall L's consecutive sentence means that he'll be eligible for extended supervision after 60 years. The full list of his charges is available on our website at channel3000.com. Reporting from Janesville, I'm Catherine Merck, News 3 Now.
Warm weather is here to stay for the next few days. Julian Seawright out on the weather patio with our first warm forecast. Julian?
I almost ruined it by wearing a jacket outside because we don't need it. It is wonderful out here on our weather patio, and it's just going to get better over the next couple of days. 60 degrees currently here in Madison, 63 for Janesville and for Platteville. It feels like forever since we've seen temperatures around the lower 60s throughout much of southern Wisconsin. But the good news is they are definitely here to stay, at least for the near future. Looking around Dane County, we got 63 for our friends over towards the western side. Over in Middleton with 64 in Cross Plains, and still holding into, again, those lower 60s throughout much of southern Wisconsin as we get into the rest of our afternoon, heading into our evening hours. Have some peaks of sun, also have some high-level clouds, but as we look ahead, temperatures themselves will slowly start to fall. Even around 7 o'clock into the upper 50s, winds will start to die down too. Rather calm, and then as we get into tonight, we're going to fall into around the lower 40s for us here in Madison. Some cloud cover will remain, but overall it's going to be a rather nice night, even though it's been rather near freezing over the last couple. Heading into tomorrow, folks, you see 70 degrees, and that is going to be the start of a trend of very spring-like weather for us. But we do also have some opportunities to see potentially even some shower activity throughout much of southern Wisconsin. We'll be planning out when you can see the showers and just how much rain is expected in a few moments. Until then, back to you, Eric.
Julian, thank you. A manhunt continues in Georgia for a gunman who opened fire at an Atlanta medical building. One person was killed, at least 4 others hurt in this attack. 3 of the victims remain in critical condition. Investigators are looking for 24-year-old Dion Patterson. Police released security camera images of the suspect in the building wearing dark pants, a hoodie, and a mask over his face.
So right now the gun is not in the possession of law enforcement, and we're actively looking for the gun as we are the individual.
A motive behind the shooting remains unclear. Meanwhile, Texas police have arrested the man accused of killing 5 people after a 4-day search. Investigators say a call to an FBI tip line led them to a home less than 20 miles from the crime scene. The suspect's wife also is in custody. Investigators believe she was providing him with food, clothing, and had arranged transportation to the house where he was arrested. Authorities say the incident happened after the suspect's neighbor asked him to stop shooting his gun in his yard because a baby was sleeping.
He was charged with 5 counts of murder. The bond was set at $1.5 million on each charge, a total amount of $7.5 million.
The DA says additional charges are possible, including capital murder. Authorities say a friend of the suspect is also in custody. And a 13-year-old has been arrested in Serbia after police say he went on a shooting spree at his school. 8 students and a school guard were killed. Several others were hospitalized. Investigators say the attack was carefully planned, saying the teen had a list of intended targets and sketches of classrooms. They also say the gunman used his father's handgun, which was licensed and kept in a safe. The teen's father was also arrested. Now to Fitchburg, where police are investigating after 3 separate apartments were hit by gunfire. Multiple people called police about 9:20 last night after hearing the gunshots in the 3300 block of Leopold Way. Officers initially found no damage, but after returning to the scene today, they discovered 1 bullet had gone through 3 apartments in the area. People were in each apartment at the time of the shooting. Luckily, no one was hurt. Anyone with information is asked to call Fitchburg Police 608-270-4300. After the university said it could not expel her, black students and their supporters remain outraged today about the UW's response to a student's viral racist video. Tahlil Mohadeen spoke with students protesting today and joins us with more on their push to get university leaders to take some action here. Tahlil?
Students first tried appealing to UW Chancellor directly, beginning with a quiet demonstration inside Bascom Hall, demanding an audience. They say they were there for over an hour until UW Chancellor Jennifer Mnuchin showed up, but they didn't like what she had to say. That's when their demonstration turned into a protest. More than 250 students marched across campus chanting "No justice, no peace." University officials said yesterday that they couldn't take action against the student in the video, but they did encourage affected students to take mental health support on campus, which did little for students protesting.
We don't want it. Like, that's not the big issue at hand. The big issue is making a statement, removing her off this campus, because not removing her is saying that it's okay to say these things to us.
The video, which began circulating on social media earlier this week, showed a woman repeatedly yelling racial slurs and glorifying slavery. Ahead of their protest, students handed university officials a list of demands which UW leaders say they will respond to. Student protesters today said that they want to see UW take a zero-tolerance approach to hate speech, remove the alleged student from the university, and provide more space for black students on campus.
Tahlil, thank you. Now to western Wisconsin, where railroad tracks are back in service after that train derailment last week. It happened Thursday in Crawford County, involved 2 of the train's 3 locomotives. 20 cars carrying a variety of freight were also involved, 2 of which ended up in the Mississippi River. 4 railway employees had minor injuries. It's still unclear what caused it. The Federal Rail Administration is investigating. The clock is ticking as the country inches toward the fiscal cliff known as the debt ceiling. With more on how those negotiations are going in Congress, News 3 Now political reporter Will Keneally. Will?
So when we talk about the debt ceiling, it's must-pass legislation, and it's not about raising the amount that the country can borrow. It's more about paying down the debt that the country has already incurred. And Congressman Mark Pocan was frustrated when we spoke with him today, saying that Republicans are putting extraneous policy into that debt ceiling bill.
But to mess around with a debt ceiling and say that is just a really dangerous game. And I've been doing this, as you know, for a long time, maybe too long in some people's minds, but for a long time, and I spent time on the Joint Committee on Finance and now Appropriations. This is just, it's a bit wonky, but it's really potentially catastrophic.
So Republicans are using the debt ceiling bill to include a bunch of cuts that they want to move forward on federally. Pocan says that means cuts to a slew of programs like veterans benefits and even SNAP benefits, for example. But Pocan says if worse comes to worse, Democrats can work with a group of 5 Republicans to pass a clean debt ceiling bill through the U.S. House. Now, when we spoke with him, Pocan also responded to a series of anti-trans legislation that's working through the U.S. House right now, including last month where the U.S. Congress passed a bill that would bar trans athletes from participating in women's sports for schools that receive federal funding. When asked about that, Pocan said that that was like throwing spaghetti against the wall for Republicans, seeing what would stick to energize their base. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Well, thank you. And new at 5, Beloit College has a new president. Dr. Eric Boynton will take over for the retiring Scott Bierman, who's retiring later this year. Boynton addresses students and faculty this afternoon, laying out some of his priorities, including additional community engagement and ambitious fundraising efforts.
As president, I will work ceaselessly, creatively, and collaboratively with all of you to ensure that our students are supported and transformed by their experiences in and outside the classroom, to ensure that prospective students and their family from across the nation and the world are compelled to attend our college and clearly understand its significant value.
And Dr. Boynton will take over as Beloit College president on July 1st. Verona is home to 4 new apartment complexes built over the past 2 years. With the city's largest employer, Epic, adding hundreds of jobs, the need for more housing just keeps growing. Our Kyle Bazorski talked to the mayor of Verona about what they're doing to create more. Kyle?
Well, Eric, a few years ago, the area west of Verona's downtown has gone from 1- and 2-story homes and businesses to now 3- and 4-story apartment complexes lining Verona Avenue. The new developments act as an extension of the downtown, featuring new housing, commercial space, and soon a public park. Mayor Diaz says that this new area will help create a stronger community and downtown core, but will also lower the burden on finding a place to live.
They want to live where they want to live, so we need places for people to live if we want to keep housing costs anywhere near reasonable in Verona.
One of the new complexes is Schoolhouse Yards, which includes affordable workforce housing for people making less than 60% of the median household income. Diaz hopes more can be built just like this. Meanwhile, work continues on 3 other complexes expected to be completed by the end of this year.
All right. Thank you very much, Kyle. More news to come, and News 3 now at 5. But first, the Fed's decision sending stocks tumbling once again. The Dow falls more than 270 points. The Nasdaq drops 55. The S&P off 29. We'll be right back.
Experience does count. When you're shopping for new furniture, a mattress set, or flooring, come to the experts at McGann Furniture and Flooring in Baraboo. Our experienced staff is well-trained in home decorating and will answer all your questions so you can buy with confidence. You'll find big city selection and an enjoyable shopping experience. And remember, we don't raise prices only to lower them later for a sale. Come see the difference experience can make at McGann Furniture and Flooring, downtown Baraboo.
Everybody wants a whiter smile because having white teeth projects self-care, confidence, and attractiveness. Whether you're on the dating scene, interviewing for a new job, or simply looking to improve your smile, what you need is Power Swabs. Power Swabs is as easy as snap, swab, and smile. You'll notice 2 shades whiter teeth in 5 minutes and 6 shades in 7 days.
The thing I love about Power Swabs is the convenience. I mean, just you break it open, just rub it on your teeth, just like you're brushing your teeth, let it sit there for a little bit, and you're done.
So I noticed I have a lot more stains on the sides right here. So with the Power Swab, I was able to go in there and really make sure that I was getting that coverage, and it really did work.
Just snap the Stain Out swab to remove stains from natural teeth as well as caps, crowns, and veneers. Then snap the whitening swab to whiten your teeth 6 shades in 7 days. Finally, smile and show off your pearly whites.
It's 5 minutes in the morning and I'm out the door, and it's amazing. It's a week's worth of 5 minutes a day, and I couldn't be happier with the results.
With Power Swabs, there's no messy strips, trays, or lights that you have to leave in your mouth for an hour. Whether you smoke or drink coffee, tea, or wine, Power Swabs is sure to lift those stains with 0 to minimal sensitivity. Just a simple 5-minute application, and each day you'll be 1 step closer to smiling with confidence.
Having shades lighter on my teeth in such a short period of time, it almost feels like cheating, to be honest with you, and it tickles me that you can get those kind of results in that short a time period.
Try Power Swabs this Mother's Day and get 50% off your order and free shipping. Plus, get a free Quick Stick pen to remove those coffee, wine, or smoking stains on the go. Visit powerswabs.com or call the number on your screen.
After a racist video emerges on campus, UW-Madison students demand change from the university, what they'd like to see happen now. And celebrating 10 years, how Dane County's mental health program has helped students and their families. That story tonight at 6.
A 106-year-old masterpiece.
The detail in this building is hard to grasp.
What would it cost to replace our iconic state capitol? Learn why the number I discovered is just the beginning. The Price of Perfection, Thursday at 6.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
New at 5, one of the 2 remaining escapees from a Mississippi jailbreak was found dead in New Orleans. 34-year-old Casey Grayson was found in a vehicle at a truck stop Investigators say the inmate's cause of death is unknown at this time. Grayson, one of 4 inmates who escaped from the Hinds County Jail back on April 23rd. Now, one of his fellow escapees, Jerry Raines, was captured in Spring Valley, Texas on Thursday last week. A 3rd inmate, Dylan Arrington, was found dead in a burned structure in Carthage, Mississippi after a shootout with police. Meanwhile, a former FBI supervisory special agent has been arrested on charges related to the January 6th Capitol attack. Jared Wise was arrested this week in Oregon. He has not yet entered a formal plea on the 4 federal crimes with which he's charged, including illegally entering and remaining in the Capitol building. Investigators say Wise entered the Capitol, confronted officers, and encouraged other rioters who attacked law enforcement. And he allegedly shouted, "Kill him," multiple times to rioters who were attacking police in front of him. The Pentagon is temporarily deploying 1,500 soldiers and Marines to the southern border to help as migrants flow to the area in anticipation of the end of Title 42. Overnight, the White House announced it has reached a deal with Mexico that will, for the first time, admit some non-Mexican migrants deported from the U.S. for illegally entering the country. As part of the deal, the U.S. will allow up to 100,000 migrants from Venezuela, Haiti, Cuba, and Nicaragua to live and work in the U.S. as long as they have family already here. Migrants from these countries who are expelled from the U.S. for illegally crossing the border will be accepted by Mexico.
The new rule changes are probably going to dissuade some people, hopefully, from coming across because they will not be eligible for asylum under these new rules.
Now, the Biden administration also announced it has increased the number of flights exporting undocumented immigrants out of the U.S., hoping that'll act as a to discourage migrants from coming to the U.S. border in the first place. The Federal Reserve wrapped up a 2-day meeting by announcing another rise in interest rates. Skylar Henry now with the details.
Interest rates are going up again. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell announced a 1/4 percentage point increase, pushing a key benchmark rate to the highest level in 16 years in an effort to bring down inflation.
We remain strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal.
Inflation is now at 5%, way down from the 9% jump last year.
I've definitely noticed the prices going down a little bit recently with certain items.
The latest rate hike comes just 2 days after the failure of First Republic Bank, which collapsed under rising interest rates. Powell isn't committing to a pause on future rate hikes, but didn't rule it out.
Our future policy actions will depend on how events unfold.
The Fed is also trying to navigate a political showdown happening here in Washington. President Biden is meeting with leaders from both parties next week to discuss raising the debt limit. Republicans want spending cuts attached. If a deal isn't reached, the U.S. government would default on its bills.
We are already slowing down the economy. The debt ceiling impasse could push us head first into a recession.
Powell is urging lawmakers to raise the debt limit.
A failure to do that would be unprecedented. We'd be in uncharted territory.
The Federal Reserve will hold its next meeting on interest rates in June. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Well, we got sunshine out there, the warm-up underway. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast with Julian Seawright. Julian?
That's right, and that's just the start of even better weather for us over the next couple of days. We take a look at our 3 things we'll need to know. Today was just the start of 60 to 70-degree weather because we will start to see those 70s coming into tomorrow afternoon, and it is just going to be smooth sailing with those numbers throughout the next several days. Outside of it, we do have a couple of opportunities to see some showers for some areas throughout much of southern Wisconsin. Man, they're going to be isolated, not very widespread, but we could still see some wet precipitation coming into our Thursday night, into our Friday as well. But for the most part, we're looking at dry weather heading into this weekend. And again, the 70s is pretty much what we're all excited for as of right now, more mild weather. Getting into what we're seeing for our current setup. Right now, the low pressure system, which is just north of Minnesota over towards the Canada border, is going to continue to descend into the upper Midwest, mainly for us here in Wisconsin, which will be bringing in some of that more moisture for us for some areas, especially into northern Wisconsin and parts of southern Wisconsin itself. But we're still pretty much bordered off, so much of the Midwest coming in from Nebraska over towards Missouri still dealing with dry and mild weather because of that Omega block, which is going to start to deflate as we get into our Thursday. But for tonight, temperatures falling into the 40s. Heading into tomorrow, well, it's going to be a bit chilly for the start. Well, let's call it cool. We're seeing mid-40s heading out the door. Sunshine and the cloud cover will build as we get into our afternoon hours, but our high is going to be around 70 degrees for Madison, and much of southern Wisconsin is going to be following suit. Middle 70s from Prairie du Chien to Lone Rock, 71 for Platteville, and 71 for Janesville. So if you have the time and opportunity to, definitely take advantage of the weather for tomorrow because we are going to be looking at a pretty marvelous day. Getting into tonight, it's going to be rather quiet. Cloud cover is going to break up. Around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning as you're heading out the door. Light winds coming in from the south, but we're going to really increase in temperatures by the time we get to the lunchtime hour as those wind speeds pick up just a bit. Middle 60s is going to be expected. Still rather dry, so walking the dog out, having lunch outside, it's actually going to be rather nice. Now as we get into our evening commutes, not too bad until we get into our Thursday night. We are looking for some potentials of some showers, especially just north of the Dells, that will begin late into our Thursday evening, carrying into our early Friday morning. And as we get into our Friday afternoon, we could see a couple of spot-up showers or even some thunderstorms, especially towards the southwest and to our friends into the northeast. Now, however, we aren't looking for too much in terms of rainfall. Many areas may not even register any rain in itself, might not even hit the ground because we do have some dry slotting. But outside of it, we're still going to be watching for potentials of showers for some areas. Our 3 things we'll need to know, again, we're going to still be on the dry side heading into the weekend, and the temperatures themselves will stay into the 70s for the foreseeable future until we get into about Friday of next week. We could start to see a bit more cooler air, but overall things are going to stay rather mild. Now let's get into our first warn traffic, sponsored by Gruber Law Offices. Right now we are looking for a bit of a backup on Stoughton Road on US 12 and 18 as of right now. Some slower moving traffic for us as we're getting into the 5 p.m. rush hour. Otherwise though, along the Beltline, things are rather smooth as we're kicking off the rest of our traffic. That's going to do it for weather and traffic. Over to you.
Julian, thank you. The Food and Drug Administration has approved the world's first RSV vaccine. It marks a pharmaceutical milestone some 6 decades in the making. The drug, Arexvy, is made by GSK and is designed to be given as a single shot to adults 60 and older. It could be available as early as this fall. 3 other RSV vaccines are in the final phases of testing for older adults. And some new hope for people in the early stages of Alzheimer's. A new experimental drug has shown promising results in slowing the cognitive decline in many patients. The drug maker says it slowed declines in patients' ability to think clearly and perform daily tasks by more than 1/3. The drug works by removing plaque buildups in the brain that are a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease.
That's what's the priority right now, is to make sure that these important treatments are available. If a patient and their doctor decide it's right for them, they can be sure that Medicare will have them available.
And the drug maker plans to file for FDA approval by the end of next month. Just ahead, low grades for American 8th graders when it comes to basic civics and U.S. history. Why experts say that's a cause for concern. Next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Your John Deere is here. Get yours during our Green Tag sales event. Right now, get your new full-size or mid-size Gator with 0% for 36 months. Get a John Deere now. And
power up at Sloan's.
Think Sloan's first.
Do you suffer from chronic or severe back or neck pain? Did you know that there is now a treatment method available right here at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center that offers hope of avoiding spinal surgery for those suffering with bulging, herniated, or degenerative discs? Our therapies help reduce pain related to these conditions and have a high success rate in helping people just like you avoid back or neck surgery.
I have experienced low back pain for over 15 years. I had back surgery when I was 26 and had difficulties recovering. The doctors at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center have given me a new lease on life. I am now able to enjoy an active, pain-free lifestyle.
Call Midwest Spine and Nerve Center now to schedule a no-obligation consultation to see if our progressive pain-relieving therapies are right for you.
What's your lawn care plan for the summer? Having a Maple Leaf lawn care maintenance program means a better looking lawn and more free time for you. Check our website for special discounts and leave the yard work to Maple Leaf, your year-round property care experts.
Organize your outdoor living space with help from Menards. The Suncast Smart Track Hose Hideaway is designed to minimize clutter in your garden. It holds up to 225 feet of hose. Pick one up today for $54.99 after rebate. The Suncast 50-gallon deck box is perfect for patio cushions and outdoor accessories. It's low maintenance, easy to assemble, and offers the best combination of durability and value. Just $69.99 after 11% rebate at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Join the Circle of Life at the Lion King. Experience the world's #1 musical. Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
Tomorrow is about putting in the energy today. That's why we're investing another $4 billion in renewables and low-carbon solutions, bridging to a sustainable energy future.
Run with Sloan's. Meet your Sloan's starting lineup. The John Deere MVP, our 1025R compact utility tractor with 120R loader. Just $189 per month. Get a John Deere now. And
power up with Sloan's.
Think Sloan's first.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The nation's report card shows very poor scores for America's 8th graders when it comes to U.S. history and civics. The assessment is sounding an alarm through the education system, and Michael George tells us what the experts say is at stake.
The latest report card shows kids' history scores are now historically low. The nation's middle schoolers are struggling to explain major themes and events in the country's past and lack a basic understanding of the way government works. 8th grade scores in history and civics dropped to the lowest level since the 1990s, when the Department of Education started the assessments.
It sounds dramatic to say that our democracy is at stake, but I think that's not so far from the truth.
That's because history is about more than memorizing battles or presidents.
If our students don't understand the decisions that were made by other humans in the past, how can they possibly understand the world that they live in now?
According to the nation's report card, just 13% of 8th graders scored at or above proficient in history, 22% in civics.
I think they're avoiding some of the history that they don't want to teach.
The drop in history scores continues an alarming nationwide trend. Every single state has also seen a decline in math or reading scores since the start of the pandemic. Education experts blame the decline on remote pandemic learning and a lack of support for teachers.
There is a fundamental distrust of teachers. They are professionals, and we need to trust them.
With nearly a third of students unable to describe the structure or function of government, educators say this is a wake-up call to the nation. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
And we're back with a final check of your First Warn forecast in just a moment.
Fry Construction is celebrating 28 years with a big anniversary sale. Join us to save 28%. That's right, 28%. Many of your neighbors already know how we strive to meet and exceed expectations with each and every project. That's why they voted us Best Roofer 3 years in a row. Experience the best of Madison for yourself with Fry Construction. Act now for 28% off gutters with any full roofing project. Schedule your free consultation today at fryconstruction.com.
There's nothing better than a great night's sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic from Steinhafels. Tempur-Pedic mattresses are designed to make aches and pains a thing of the past by relieving pressure points and supporting the body as no other mattress can. Right now, you can get a queen Tempur-Pedic mattress with an adjustable base for just $64 per month when you use Steinhafels' special 72-month financing. Plus, get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Relax, it's Steinhafels.
Leisure Concepts has your new hot tub in stock and ready for immediate delivery. Steel and composite construction and the perimeter installation is so quiet. We'll deliver everything you need to easily keep your hot tub crystal clear, including knowledge. That neck-deep hot water massage feels amazing every day of the year. You'll never get tired of it. Get to Leisure Concepts and see almost 70 hot tubs that are ready for immediate delivery to your backyard.
Our phones keep us constantly connected.
Please switch to airplane mode.
But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? Introducing Us Mode, a mode that makes our phones less distracting, so we can focus on quality time. So the notifications we get are the ones that matter. So we're never distracted from what's most important. Visit US Cellular in-store or online to set up Us Mode for free, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, built for us.
Wow, this is where you work now?
Figured I deserved a more inspiring space. And with home values being up, I had a lot of equity. So I got a home equity line of credit from Summit, and voila, added a home office.
Took your business to the next level.
Hey, you two have been in your place for a couple years now. Any fun plans?
Well, we just finished a refi with Summit.
Really?
And the plan is to make a bunch of great memories.
We're gonna use the savings to get a camper.
Whatever your goals, Summit Credit Union can help you use your home's equity to go get them.
You and running have been together for a while now. Fact is, so has Morgan's Good Form Running. Every run is more than just a run. It's about finding oneself. Movement in a new pair of Hokas is good magic. Gear up today at Morgan's Good Form Running. Buy a pair of Hokas and experience the difference. Why run when you can fly?
Experience the comfort and style of Hoka. Visit us here today at Morgan's Good Form Running.
Morgan's Good Form Running, Hilldale.
We've got a lot of news coming up tonight. A state of emergency declared in El Paso, Texas, as a surge in migrants is expected at the border next week. What happens next? We've got that and more tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And Julian is back as we take one final check at the forecast.
Well, we do have some shower chances heading into the next couple of days, but overall we're going to stay rather dry, and that's right, folks, even warm as well. 70s will be returning as we get into our Thursday afternoon. Again, shower activity is going to be very minimal, but could be hitting some isolated spots once we get into our Thursday evening, transitioning into our Friday morning. But other than that, not looking for too much in terms of precipitation as of right now. Some areas could see a little bit more towards the northeast. But overall, 70s are ruling this forecast, and this weekend is shaping up to be oh so nice. Next week, though, we are looking for some more unsettled weather, chance of showers, and even some thunderstorms almost every day.
Good to see the 70s in that forecast, and it doesn't seem like anything major with those, maybe a pop-up thunderstorm.
Just pop-up general thunderstorm.
All right, Julian, thank you. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell.